What's up, YouTube? This video is in response to Platastacker's question to the community on why I choose to stack, or what got me started, and how I intend on exiting. Some of you may know the original story about how I got my first piece of silver. It was a gift from a monk who gave it to me as a parting gift and had asked me if it was real and what was the value of it. Both questions were ones that kind of got me to think. And from that moment, I started to do some research. And once I did some research, I think that was the point when it hit me, or I was a little bit enlightened, so to speak. Before that, I was a market guy and made the majority of my holdings through the stock market, and was very fortunate about that. But if you recall, during that time, the stock market wasn't doing so well, and I'd gotten a significant portion of my net worth wiped out. And that reminded me about what ended up happening to my family and I. I had mentioned in a chat before, or in a previous video, that I'd lost a bit of money before in an investment. And before that, my family got into a little bit of trouble in the tech bomb, the dot bomb, and the financial crisis. We weren't exactly broke, but like many families, we definitely were struggling for a little bit, as a significant portion of our holdings were wiped out. So our generation of 30-somethings and below have seen two significant eras of financial crises, which isn't common, which also gave birth to somewhat of a renting generation where ownership is no longer expected. In the past, you could own a car and buy a house, and those were the two main things to look forward to. Nowadays, you have Airbnb and Uber. These two particular companies give us a piece of the American dream in fractions and on demand. Why? Because students nowadays are up to their eyeballs in debt, jobs are harder to come by, and require more skills. These days, a good paying job with a decent wage and enough hours is hard to come by, which to the millennial generation makes home ownership a burden more than it is an asset or a dream. Anyways, I digress a little bit. So one of the main reasons why, as mentioned, I lost a bit of money, so did my family, in the 2000 era and 2008 financial crisis. So this time around, I'm saving some hard currency just in case something like that happens again, because the frequency is starting to increase, and if something should happen, I want to make sure this time we're a little bit more protected than we were in the past, because a lot of the times before we were in the market more than holding cash and metals. The main goal is to have these reserves so when there is a recovery or we start coming out of it like we did in 2002, 2003, and 2012, that there are enough funds to reinvest into society and to build a new business and capitalize on opportunities. One of the things about the mobile app that I'm building is that it helps people share with other people that they know. So you can borrow and lend and still have accountability, or give things to your friends and family, or sell things. Not to people that are anonymous on the internet for max dollar, but to people that you know that you've had a relationship sometime in your life. And the point of this is, if there is another economic crash, or if there's a if people or families have financial struggles, that's when people start coming together and helping each other out. And if you don't want to do it financially, then you can do it with things that you might have in excess. This app was built with economic collapse in mind, because I'm trying to get ahead of the future, get ahead of the curve. Because in a way, we all kind of see it coming, but all we're doing is preserving our own wealth. I'm hoping to do a little bit more and go that extra mile, and build a business that encourages people to help each other and rebuild society with sharing and less consumption in mind. Because I know we all stack for ourselves and our family, but without a community and a sense of community locally, then what are we really doing? Can you really survive on your own? Whether you bug in or bug out, you still have to be a part of a larger group in order to rebuild. If you end up with everything while watching people with nothing struggle, don't we become the same people in large corporations with as the 1%ers, except looking at it through a different lens? So I know young people generally are very giving, and that's who I hope will use this and share with one another. Honestly, I don't expect anyone other than millennials to use this and think this is a stupid idea, because younger folks are more used to sharing things with each other and not owning things directly. This is a direct result of the 2000 and 2008 crises. So there's a bit of a paradigm shift in terms of ownership. And when the time comes, I'm hoping to convert this back into a currency, a form where, like I said, I can eventually reinvest in the future, in kids, in the youth, who will grow up in a different world that we're not used to seeing. So going back to what got me into stacking in particular, it's once again, I lost everything, and I'm trying to figure out a way to make something from nothing and also store what I was able to create. In a way, these YouTube videos are part of the same thing in storing information for future generations or future people who end up coming across these videos later on. I have people always come across this from my last videos in December 2015, and videos from 2012, 2013 helped me with my stack in how to build it for protection. You can actually, there are little time capsules when you watch people's videos in that time. It's a lot like Back to the Future, actually. And when you see someone's thoughts in the past and then where they are now, and even if you watch your old videos, it's a little trippy. So it's a way to preserve what you're thinking, what you've worked on, and eventually, hopefully, convert it into something that'll work for me in the future. When I talk about flipping and my exit strategy, I want to make one thing very clear. It's not a career. It's not something that I intend for primary income. Ultimately, it's a supplement, and it's just a way to kind of keep up to date to know where to go when I need to sell and how to get top dollar. Aside from my primary job, I'm trying to start that business. I'm also trading from time to time and this on the side. So I have several different hustles going on, or several different things I'm working on, until they all consolidate into one thing, where one thing is enough to do everything. Eventually, I'm going to pull everything together and tie it together. Until that time, keep watching, following along, and I'm very thankful for all of your support. These little cubes are all hand stamped by me and part of my journey. So I hope to see you along. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe.